Okay, your questions are quite interesting. So the first is how I got into real estate, how I um, got my first client, and how I made my first 1 million. All right, thank you. So for me, how I got into real estate is actually a long story, and a lot of it are out there. But I'll just summarize it. How I got into real estate was, I think I'll say destiny. Um, I think in summary, I was basically looking for where one place I know I want to be a billionaire because I know that you can have a life of impact, a great life of fulfillment without money. So I personally want to live a life that is impactful, want to be live a life that is influential. I want to live a life that um, is a blessing to other people. And I know money is a part of that journey. Money is a part of that experience. So I guess part of the reasons I fell in love with real estate is also because it's basically because I want to be able to build wealth for myself and for other people. And I think it's safe to say I found my purpose in real estate. And with finding purpose in real estate, I just have to do it in a passionate way, just like I'm doing today. So, in summary, how I got into real estate was somebody said I could do real estate, or somebody was suggesting, we're just having a conversation about what to do after school. And somebody said, real estate is a nice thing to do. And I gave it a thought and I felt, okay, Mr. Go do real estate, that kind of thing. But that was how the conversation ended. But at the end of the day, destiny, that's why I said destiny. I eventually got into a law firm where everything is literally real estate, land disputes, and all of that. And meeting some clients who were doing things with my boss at the time, that was how I fell in love with real estate. So yeah, I decided to resign from my 8 to 4, 9 to 5 to come into real estate. Okay, how I got my first client. So yes, when I resigned, I started putting out a lot of content, educational content out there, and yes, eventually the client came. Actually, I had a client before I resigned. Right, I had a couple of clients before I resigned. So, but formally, my first client was after I resigned. Stayed 4 months without anything, no deal. I kept on pushing for 4 months, and eventually, I had a client. It was supposed to be. It was an outside trip, right? So I traveled out to do that job, and within the 4 days or 4 days job gave me 400,000 plus, and that was like times 10 of my monthly salary at the time I resigned 5 months ago. You understand? 5 months after I resigned, I got 10 months of my salary in 4 days, and that reassured me that, man, this is where I'm supposed to be, man. Right? So yeah, that's how I got my first. So it was online. They reached out online, but it was because of the activities I was doing online, right? But then we sort of knew back in school. So the referrer sort of knew me back in school. So somehow, there was a school relationship that brought me into that deal that led to that. So yeah, that was how I got my first client. Yes, my first 1 million. First 1 million. It was actually within my first year of coming into real estate. Although I started with struggling, right? I struggled. I had clarity as relates to purpose and direction and all of that, but I didn't have enough of strategy. So I started investing in myself. I started investing in knowledge. I mean, I literally watched every video, every interview about real estate, and that's how I started to get clarity. Enrolled for courses, get into anything I could find, lay my hand on as relates to real estate, people I could have conversations with as relates to real estate. So that's how I started getting strategy and all of that. So with strategy added to my clarity, vision, and drive, hard work, passion, I definitely was able to, within 1 year of starting, make my first 1 million in real estate. And how that happened was that my neighbor, uh, seeing that I was into real estate, reached out to me and said he had somebody or a house he was managing and that if I could sell it. Of course, at the time, I just, I mean, like I mentioned, I was still putting things together, practicalizing a lot of things I had learned and all of that. In fact, a lot of things I had also struggled because I'm someone who struggled very well in the beginning when I started, right? So with all of my struggles, mistakes made here and there, and all of that, I felt like to sell a house of about 30 million or so. That was the valuation, but the owner wasn't really desperate about the money. The owner just wanted to liquidate the house, 6 units of 6 units of flats. Yeah, flats consisting of 6 units, right? So at the end of the day, they were open to selling for as low as 20 million or so, right? So I said, okay, let's give it a try. I've realized that this is one lesson I could share, seize this opportunity to share. Don't always, if you want to get the best results or the big results in your life, then you have to be able to make certain big moves. You can't expect, how I made my first 150K was doing something I'd never done in my life. It was a risky stuff. I didn't want to do it, but I felt like, come on, I can give it a try. And now, how I made my first 1 million as well was doing something I'd never done before. I'd never tried before. I didn't feel like I could do, but eventually I took the challenge. We did a video. I mean, did my video as well as I could, and then put it out there. And that's how clients called. I mean, it was a lot of, I think one major thing that really made that deal pull through was my negotiation, my ability to mediate. If not, that deal would have fallen, like the deal would have been messed up even before it started. But long story cut short, I made the first 1 million in real estate, and I'm happy that I'm here. I mean, I can't begin to go into details as to where I am right now. But I'm glad. I'm glad I did real estate. I'm glad I'm doing real estate, and I will forever do real estate. Thank you. So, final advice to anybody who wants to do real estate. Okay, my final advice or final thoughts as relates to, I mean, getting into real estate. I think, like I said, I struggled in the beginning, and then I knew I was hardworking. I personally will always say that hard work, passion is not enough to do real estate. You need to have the right knowledge. You need to have the right strategies and know what you're looking to achieve, your audience, and all of that. A lot of things to talk about, really. So start with knowledge, invest in knowledge. With the right knowledge, with investing in knowledge, and starting the right way with the addition of passion, hard work, consistency, you will definitely do well. Yeah, my name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. Or if you like the real estate entrepreneur that uses law as a tool in the best interest of my clients. Bye bye.